1997. I was nine years old. My mom says I was so fascinated by the TV screen. I always thought, like, when I was watching shows like Pumpkin Patch, that I could open the glass, go inside, and be with the Pumpkin Patch people. That's something I distinctly remember. So she phones up her sister and says, my child wants to be on TV. I join an agency called Professional Kids, and 2 weeks after the course, I go for my first audition, and it's for Pula and Friends. And I get the call and they say, you're going to play the character of Sabrina. And that's where my TV career started. But it was really, really hard because firstly, I'm a freckle face in primary school. You would think that people would be like, wow, this girl at our school's on TV, but it really was just the exact opposite. And I remember the one time somebody turned around to me and they're like, Pula and Friends, freckle face, there's a chick on TV, Sabrina. I think this is when I started growing a tough skin for the industry. My mom, my uncles, my gran never made me feel like the fact that I'm on TV makes me any different. And in the street, Koshawela, where I grew up, that was where people were supportive because it was like, Umtana Sistra Tensetu is that girl that's on TV. It was a celebrated thing. So I honestly owe a lot of who I am today to those moments. When you're young, you're watching Momandisa, Spiwe, Shade, you name them, on X Attitude and Normal Yo TV, and you're just like, wow, those kids are really cool.
Are you a winner?
And in 2000, the call comes from the agent to say there's an audition for Yo TV and I'm sending your name. I told my mom about the audition, and my mother was always the most supportive person and just ever present for the Yo TV audition. I remember she came to school with a maxi taxi because we'd take maxis so that I wouldn't be late. And we arrived at the audition at Urban Brew Studios. There's 200 girls and they only want 3. And then my agent phones a little while later to say, you got the job. Wow. He's just like, Yo TV. And that was the next 8 years of my life. I went from primary school to high school to university with South African viewers. And that was the biggest show I'd ever been on. I did every kind of format of television that you can think of, from pre-recorded shows to live shows, game shows, talk shows, environmental shows. You name the kind of show and I did it. It really molded everything that I am as a presenter and a host today.
Hola, welcome back to Me TV, the show with real stuff from real kids. It can only be who's up. Check this out.
There was this camaraderie and this thing of you had to work hard for things. And there was a sense of achievement once you got there. I remember when Wild Room launched on Yo TV. It was the flagship show, the first of its kind. It's kids doing live TV. And it's unscripted.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wild News. I'm Hulisani Ravele reporting for Wild Room.
And there you are, still entertaining up to 4 million viewers. And this is your life. Like, this is your reality.
Do you get to be on the Wild Room today? Finally, I'm not a guest, now I'm a presenter. Hey.
Yo TV was everything to me, man. I met so many people and I learned my hardest lessons as well. The tough lessons are love you for you. There's an essence in you that nobody can ever duplicate. It's like a fingerprint, and Yo TV taught me that. But after that, I felt that it was important to take a break and to just allow people to be reintroduced to an older me. So after 2 years, Urban Brew phones again, and they say, we want you to join the Vodacom Millionaires team. That immediately for me was a no-brainer. It was my perfect opportunity to move from Sisi Ravele to Hulisani Ravele, the grown person who is a lady, and she looks different. In 2012, in June, I remember the day, my brother phoned and he was like, Dad's been in an accident. And my brother was explaining what happened to my dad. There was this kumbi of his that, yes, my dad loved that kumbi and he was fixing it. And he was underneath the car fixing, and the jack lost its balance and the car fell on him. And he was rushed to the hospital and he didn't make it. My dad was a self-made man who worked very hard. And for him to die doing what he loved most was just so comforting. In the pain and the heartache and the sadness of it all, there was just so much comfort and peace to be like, you know what, if that was the way for him to go, I would rather. But it also ignited something in me that was just like, are you doing what you love? And in that year, in 2012, I had a conversation with God, and I was just like, I don't want to be in a 9-to-5 where it's clients, it's briefs. I don't believe that this is what you put me on this earth for. It's not my purpose. The critical turning point was just to make the decision to say, I am going to do what I love, and I'm taking the leap of faith. And I wrote down a vision in 2013, and I said to myself, I want to be involved in projects that touch and turn people's lives, and the mission is to be involved in projects that have purpose, power, and impact. And then in June, a phone call comes and they say there's a show on NN7. The show was called I Am South African. What was it about? Speaking to South Africans from all walks of life, entertainment, business, sport, philanthropy, people who have overcome, people who have gone against the status quo, people who are just the essence of what South Africans stand for, which is resilience and this beauty in being resilient. And I got to be the conduit. I was the person who was relaying those conversations, and that's what I want to do. That's what I live for. So I Am South African was the launch of Hulisani Ravele as the future of South African storytelling and setting the bar. I want to tell authentic South African stories. On our television screens, we see so many international shows. We see Shakwanda and Khadija, but we don't see Uzthembiso from Umlazi, who grew up emakhaya. He's a sommelier. I mean, that is a crazy story. And there is such strength and beauty in sharing those kinds of stories, because I want to be able to impact Martha sitting Komarabastad to say, you can do it. You are this person. As South Africans, I don't believe you're ever defined by your circumstances. I think life is a series of choices. We've heard so many stories of people coming from Khayelitsha, but today they are going into space. But I don't believe we're telling enough of those stories on our television for people to believe it. So that is the vision of the Hulisani Ravele show. It's to be hard-hitting, to be authentic, to be powerful, to be entertaining, because everybody loves an entertaining show. But it's to be real. South Africa has so much beauty in its people. It's gonna be the best talk show this country has ever seen, man. That is my dream and my vision. And when I get up there, I want to be able to say, I did it. And you, Dad, your leaving inspired me to have the courage, the determination, the will to make all of this a reality.